Hello everyone! This is the first in a series of videos on linear formulas, and in this video we will have a look at linear relations. We will first have a look at what linear relations are, specifically what they look like in a table, and then we will have our first look at linear formulas. So let's start by having a look at what it looks like in a table, and let's just start with an example. So this is a table for a linear relation. Why is that? Because every step of the way, the same number is added or subtracted. In this case, for every step, we add 3. So this is the most obvious example where you can easily see what happens. Let's have a look at a few more complicated examples. It may happen that there's gaps in your table, that you don't know all the information yet. Then you will have to somehow find out, is it possible to fill in your table so that it will be linear? In this case, if it turns out that this is 2 and this is 7, we can still have equal steps throughout the table. There's many ways that you can find those gaps. Just use whichever works for you. But we find out every step of the way can be plus 5, so this is still a linear relation. Here we have something a bit more complicated because it looks like it's steps of -4 and then suddenly steps of -8 and then -4 and -8 again. It looks like it's not a linear relation. However, at the top we don't make the same steps either. So what is going on is that in the first step we do -4, and then in the next 2 steps we do -8. So that still means that per step it's -4. The step after that is -4 again, and then it's again 2 steps for -8. So -4 per step. So if you would split this into the 2 different steps that are happening here, it would all be -4. So even if it doesn't look it, this one is still a linear relation. Let's have one final example. In this table there is still clearly a pattern, because this is times 2, this is times 2, this is times 2, and this is times 2. However, if it's times, it's not a linear relation. A linear relation only works with plus or minus, with adding or subtracting. So this is the only example on this page that is not a linear relation. We will find out in a later chapter what kind of relation this is. Alright, enough about tables. Let's have a look at linear formulas. So last year we would write formulas, for instance, like this: amount equals time times 40 plus 20. And we learned that it could be shortened as A equals 40t plus 20. And this is actually an example of a linear formula. And there's a few interesting things we can read off from this formula, because if we fill in t as 0, then we get A equals 40 times 0 plus 20 equals 20. So 20 is the starting value. And the other number tells us how much it increases per step. That number we had under our tables a moment ago. So in this case, every step it increases 40. If we look at the graph as well, we can see it starts at 20 and every step it goes 40 up. So this is the basic structure of a linear formula. It has a variable that is multiplied by some number and then some other number added or subtracted. In the next video we are going to go deeper into this and look at this structure. So for now, this is all I wanted to say about linear relations. I hope this helped you explain when a formula is a linear formula and that you can now find out whether a table corresponds to a linear relation.